Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, hold tight.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Nick Foy, the founder of under30wealth.com, and I got started in real estate investing at age 20, buying rental properties, and right now I'm currently working on a multi-family building it's like an apartment building. So before I send it ahead to future Nick in tonight's video lesson, first I want to go ahead and recap the different things that I did today in my life, so that you can kind of see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. So these are like little mini vlog sessions where I vlog, throughout my day. All right, so I started off my day heading over to a property that we are listing for sale. So day-to-day I work as a real estate agent, and then I'm also, often at the building working on the renovations. So the first step is I had to set the for sale sign in the yard. And then once I got that, pounded into the ground, I walked around to the back of the property where the key box was. Then I had to go inside the property to take pictures and do measurements of all the different rooms. That way I could go back to the MLS and actually start the listing on typing in all the different property information. So as you can see through this little slideshow presentation of the different photos, it's in a pretty rough shape condition, so that's why the listing price is really dirt cheap. It's like less than $30,000. Once I got done taking those, I went ahead and went into the office, uploaded the photos into the MLS, and got the listing started so that we can make it go live tomorrow. All right, once I got done inputting that information into the MLS, next was probably one of the best parts of my day. Yes, I went to Panda Express and I got some orange chicken and fried rice. And then once I got done with lunch, I did a few more things in the office, and then I headed over to the apartment building to take videos of the day 15 through day 30 progress. So I was filming different shots for that video that's going to be coming out in a couple of days. I'm going to be releasing, the day 1 to day 15 update and the day 15 to day 30 update, so that you could see, the different 2-week periods, what happened the first month of owning the property as far as, how the renovations went and the demolition went. So be on the lookout for both those videos. All right, so that wraps up today. We just went to a property, did a listing, then I was in the office most of the day. Then I went to the apartment building, did some filming, did a little bit of work, and now I'm gonna send it ahead to future Nick, who's gonna get into today's real estate investing lesson on multifamily property. So take it away, future Nick.
8:01 p.m.
What's going on, guys? Nick Foy here, the founder of under30wealth.com. This channel is all about real estate investing and how I'm building wealth from age 20 to age 30. I got started investing in real estate when I was 20 years old. I've done a couple deals so far in my first few years of investing in real estate, and they've all had 6-figure profit potential in them. We've actually already sold one of the deals. The other one we're still holding on to because it's a cash cow. It's got, thousands of dollars of net income coming in per year. It's a 3-unit apartment building, so there's 3 different tenants paying rent. So that's why there's so much rental income coming in as a total, provided that those 3 units stay occupied. So I want to share today a little bit about multifamily investing. This is, one of the routes that I just recently started getting into. And I want to kind of share my thoughts, my process of how you can scale a real estate investing business. So in yesterday's video, we talked about financing a deal if you don't have any money. We talked about, how you can go raise capital from other people so they can put up the funds. You could put up all the work, the experience, actually hunting out the deals, breaking them down, analyzing them, all that. You just put up the sweat equity is what it's called. And then the other way was seller financing. You can talk to a seller and see if they're willing to take on a loan with you. That way you don't have to pay them off right now today. You can just pay them off like as a mortgage payment to them every month. And then that way you don't have to deal with banks or anything like that if you've got bad credit score, or if you don't have a big enough down payment that the bank wants you to have. So maybe the seller will accept a smaller down payment and then they'll carry the loan. So that was what we talked about in yesterday's video. Now today we're going to talk about actually scaling your business once you start buying properties. So when I first got started, I was targeting single family homes. This is the route most people take when they first start. So a single family home, that's just the technical name for a house. So any house in a neighborhood, that's called a single family home. And then you've got multi-family homes. So these are, you know, where multiple families live, which technically that's an apartment complex or a condominium complex or some kind of multi-unit property that's got multiple families living on it. So that's why they call it single family homes and multi-family properties, because it's just about how many tenants actually live on the property. So starting out, you know, most people are going to go after a house and they're going to have one tenant, one family that's renting out that property. So that's the route I started. But eventually, as a real estate investor, the money's going to be in the multifamily properties. You can obviously, there's multiple paths to becoming a millionaire. There's lots of people who have only bought single family homes and they've been successful. I'm not saying you can't be successful only buying single family homes, but as far as scaling at a mass rate, buying multifamily is going to be the better route to go. So my ideal goal initially starting out, what I thought about doing was buying a bunch of different single family homes as like flips. So we'd buy it, you know, fix it up, there'd be profit in it, we could just flip it right away, sell it, take those profits, you know, move them on to the next deal, kind of get a flipping business going where I'm building up wealth quickly through doing 3, 4, 5 flips a year. You know, starting out, you're probably going to do 1 flip a year, maybe 1 flip every 2 years, depending on how slow you start out. But eventually you got to get scaling, so you got to get doing 2, 3, 4 flips a year. You're going to get more capital each deal you do. Plus, you could have other people come in with capital, other partners that can help you do multiple deals at once. So after flipping for a while and building up a lot of capital, you know, by the time you get, let's say, $100,000, $200,000 saved, and you've been working for a few years, so you've got, you know, access to bank money. You can get bank financing because you've got 2 years work history, you've got a decent credit score. At that point, you're going to have a sizable down payment that you could make on a multi-unit property. So my goal was, you know, to get into real estate investing in single family homes, you know, collecting rental income or doing flips, whatever, save it all as much as possible, plus work at my job, plus my online business and all my other streams of income. Just save, save, save at a high rate until I amass, you know, 100,000 or 200,000, and then go after a multi-unit property that's, you know, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I could put down that 100 or 200,000 as a down payment, take out a mortgage, and then, you know, those properties are going to have lots of units in them, so all those tenants are going to be helping to pay off that mortgage. Then the rental income that I'm collecting from that property is going to cover the property taxes, the insurance, you know, the maintenance and repairs. If you've got common area fees like utility fees or property management fees, so all those expenses get paid from the rental income, and then, you know, all the rental income that's left has to still cover your mortgage payment, and then hopefully you still have got money after that. That's going to be positive cash flow that goes into your bank account that you can start accumulating and saving towards the next down payment on the next property. So that was kind of my goal. So I started out, I got property number 1. We held it for about 2 years, ended up selling it, profiting 75 grand right away on the sale. But then you add in the rental income we earned over that period. Plus, we did a seller financing, which is funny because I talked about it in the last video, finding a seller who will do seller financing. We actually did seller financing for our buyer, helping them out. So we're carrying a loan, we're earning interest on that loan. So when it's all said and done in a few years, between, you know, the profits we built up in the property, plus the rental income, plus the interest, it's going to be a 6-figure deal that we made over 6 figures in profits on. So that helped build, you know, enough wealth that I could then go on and buy the next property all by myself without a partner. But I ended up just, you know, kind of splitting that money up, and I got into multiple partnerships with multiple people. So now I was able to go out and get deal number 2, and I'm in the process of acquiring deal number 3 with my other partner. So that's helping me scale now in year 2 or year 3 that I'm in real estate investing. So next year I'm hoping to get, you know, to refinance the second property I just bought. That's going to get that cash back out, and I'm going to be able to start buying deals 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll be able to buy multiple properties next year. Plus, I'll have access to bank financing, so I'll actually, you know, finally be able to get some loans from the bank because I've got a good credit score. I'll have the 2 years of employment history. So that's kind of my path I'm taking, you know, starting out with single family homes, Then my second property, like I said, was a 3-unit multifamily property. So I went ahead and jumped right into multifamily, and that's got, you know, $180,000 profit potential in it, plus the annual income that we're earning from it. So that ended up being a really good deal that's going to help snowball my wealth even quicker and get me, you know, acquiring more and more properties a lot faster than if I would have tried to buy, say, one single family home a year. Because originally I was thinking, all right, if I buy one single family home a year, you know, after 10 years I'll have 10 properties. That'll be earning me enough income that I could probably retire, you know, at age 32, age 31 by having these 10 to 12 properties that I accumulated if I was doing one a year. But the fact that I just jumped up to a 3-unit apartment building so quickly that's got so much profit, that's going to help give me even more cash. So now in year 3 next year, I can go buy, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 properties. Plus my partners, they're still working their jobs, so they're going to keep building cash. And I'm gonna keep being able to do partnerships with them in addition to going out and getting my own properties. So that's gonna help me scale and get, you know, access to more units and more properties. And then we'll see, you know, year 5, maybe I decide to sell everything I've got, cash out, and then by then, you know, I'll have, let's say, $400,000 or $500,000 in cash. I don't know, but that's just my estimate. I think in a few years I could have that much cash, you know, to pull out of all these properties. And then I could go take that cash, make a down payment, you know, on $1 million or a $2 million apartment building. So now we're getting into the bigger money. You know, if we're talking about a $2 million apartment building, that's going to have a lot of units, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70 units, however many units it has, that's going to be paying you a ton of rental income. You know, if you earn 10% a year on that $2 million property, you're looking at $200,000 a year in net income from that rental property, from that apartment building. And I think $200,000 a year, you think about taxes you'd have to pay, so maybe you come away with $100,000, $125,000 after taxes. That's a good amount of money to live life on. You could support a family pretty well off with $100,000 a year. So that's kind of just the way I look at numbers, and the way I'm looking at real estate investing is you want to start off small, you know, buying those cheap single family homes, do some flips maybe to get capital going, save money from your job. You know, if you've got a part-time job that you're doing with your full-time job, that's going to help you save money even quicker so that you can eventually amass enough capital to make a down payment on a multifamily property. And multifamily properties is where the big money starts coming in. All right, now I want to get back to talking in the single family route. So we just got done discussing how you start small, kind of build your way up, and eventually move into multifamily. But if you decide to stay in single families the whole time, that's certainly okay too. You know, my parents, they had 6, 7, 8, I think right now they might have 8 rental properties. At one time they had 10 or 11, and they're all, you know, single family homes. So that's a lot of work to manage, you know, 8 different properties. In my mind, you know, I'm always looking for the easiest way to make income with the less amount of work. So if I've got one property, I can have a property manager managing that entire property. You know, like a 40-unit apartment building, I could have a property manager who takes care of that for me, and they just deposit the monthly income into my bank account, and I can live my life pretty stress-free, other than, you know, the few phone calls here and there where I've got to make some decisions. But as far as owning like 8 to 10 to 12 different single family homes, or even if you scale it up to owning 20, 30, 40 single family homes, that's a lot of houses that you have to go around and collect rent from every week. That's a lot of property tax bills you got to make sure get paid every year. Insurance bills got to get paid, utility bills got to get paid. Those houses are all going to have new roofs and, you know, mechanical systems that break down. So you're going to have a lot of repairs over all those properties that you're going to have to set aside a maintenance reserve for. So it seems like, as far as scaling goes, it's going to be a lot to manage. If initially starting out, if you're only managing 1 or 2 or 3, that's perfectly normal. You know, that's good to do. But when you get to that point of owning 40 single family homes, that can be a lot to manage and worry about. Like I said, every year trying to keep track of paying 40 different property tax bills. Just think about that for a second. So if you've got an apartment building, you only have to pay 1 property tax bill every year and 1 insurance bill. And if the whole building needs a new roof, you can hire a roofing company to come out and replace the whole new roof or make repairs. You don't have to worry about all these individual properties scattered all around town. So that's kind of just some ways that I want to help you think about real estate investing as far as scaling. You know, starting out, go after those single family homes, but at some point, I would consider, you know, selling them all and just taking that stash of cash that you collect from all those properties and dumping it into a multifamily project. Recently, just to give you an example, there was a guy in our city who unloaded a portfolio of like 21 different single family homes, and they weren't in the nicest areas either. So he ended up asking like 30 grand or 24 grand for all these properties. So he was unloading his whole portfolio for like 500,000 or 600,000. But what I think he was doing, you know, he bought all these at tax sales for $3,000 or $4,000. He bought tax liens years ago when people didn't pay their taxes, then they got foreclosed on. He bought the tax liens, took over the properties for 3 or 4 grand, fixed them up. So he's still profiting by selling it at $25,000, $30,000. But he unloaded all 20 some of these properties, you know, probably made about 600 grand is my guess. And I'm guessing he took that 600 grand and he's either just going to go stick it, you know, in dividend stocks to collect passive income from dividend stocks, or he's going to take that 600 grand and go buy, you know, some bigger apartment buildings with that money so that he can condense down to just managing one property instead of managing 20. So that's the way I see a lot of the big investors doing it, and that's why I'm sharing these tips with you, so that when you're planning out, you know, your game plan for how you want to invest in real estate, and you're mapping out your goals for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, you're thinking ahead of, you know, okay, here in these first years I want to start with these smaller properties. My long-term goal is to get into the big properties, so here's how I'm going to do that. And then you can map out, you know, how much profits you need to earn from all your small properties until it accumulates that you can go after a bigger property. So thanks for watching today's video as we talked about, you know, how to think about long-term planning your real estate investing strategy and going after, you know, multifamily properties if you want to amass big amounts of wealth in real estate investing. In another video coming up shortly, we're going to get into how to value multifamily properties and how to value single family homes. So that way you can learn, you know, how to value a flip that's a house and how to value a multifamily property that you want to purchase, and maybe eventually you flip a multifamily property and you sell it to another investor who wants to own that apartment building. So we'll show you how to value both those in some upcoming videos. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you get email updates of when I upload a new video. I'm uploading every single day, so I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in today and have an awesome, amazing day.